In this lesson, we will learn how to add new elements to a web page. With that, we will see some built-in methods provided by jQuery for this. We will also see some examples. Let's start. So to add elements to a web page, jQuery provided the following built-in methods: append, after, prepend and before. If you want to add the content at the end, use the append method. If you want to add the content after the selected element, use the after method. If you want to add the content before the selected element, that is the start of the selected element, then use the prepend method. And the last one, if you want to add the content before the selected element, then use the before method. We will see them one by one. Let us start with the append method. So if you want to add the content at the end of the selected element, that means to append. In layman language, use the jQuery append method. We will see an example wherein a text will get appended to the h1 element, that means heading 1, level 1 heading. Let us see the example. Here we are using VS Code. We have created the following folder on the desktop for all our examples. Let us create a new HTML file. Right click here, click new file. I'll name it index32.html. Here it is. Let us copy code structure from here. Okay, this one. Then we will write our code, copy, paste. Here you can see we have used jQuery CDN, and here comes our jQuery code. Let us add the HTML part. Under the body tag, we will add a p tag. We will append a word in the above heading. Click the below button to append. Okay, so we will also add a button using the button element. Also add an ID to it. Let's say btn, and set the append button. On clicking this button, we will append. Okay, so obviously we need to set the click event for this. So we will set in our jQuery code. Here we have set the click event. We will set the click event for obviously button ID, that means #btn. So on clicking this button, what will happen? We will append using the append method. Okay, I told you we will append. I have written here. We will append a word in the above heading. So it's simple. h1 because we want to append after the h1 heading. Dot append method. Okay, now you can set your heading. Any word, let's say I'll mention website. We will set the HTML part also. This will set an emphasis text. It's fine. We have appended a text website with em tag, that means it will be visible in italic form. File, save all. Now I'll right click, click open in default browser. It's visible. When I'll click on the append button, a word will get appended here after Studiopedia. Click on it. Here it is. We have appended. It is emphasis text because we have set em tag here, okay, and we have used the append method. Let us see the next example. In the next example, we will add the content after the selected element using the after method. So what we will do, we will see an example and we will set the content after the h2 element this time. So let's see the example. Let us create a new file. Right click, new file. I'll name it index33.html. Okay, here it is. Now let us take the code from the previous example. Right click, copy. Right click, paste. Now we will add the content after the selected element and the after method will be used. No problem. Let us add some headings. Okay, we have set the heading. Now I'll set it again h2, and here I'll set h3 level 3 heading. That's it. Now we have our p tag also. Okay, we will set this. Click the below button to add the content after the h2 heading. Okay, after this heading. Let's see. Button, we have set the same button, id btn. We have used the id attribute, and let me set add content after h2. Okay, so this will be visible on our button. We are done with the HTML part. Now comes the jQuery part. On the click of this button, therefore the id attribute is used here. That means hash btn, the same id. And on clicking this, we have set the click event also. On clicking this, what will happen? The content will be added after the selected element. So I have set after here, and we want after the h2 heading. So this is fine now. What you want to set after h2? Let me set let's say a p tag with the text demo text. Okay, this will get added after the selected element. That means after h2. Let us run the code. File, save all, right click, open in default browser. Here it is. When I'll click here, the content will get added after h2. That means after here p tag will get added with the text demo text. You can see after all the h2 tags we have added the text demo text because we have set after h2. That means after this h2, first h2 demo text will get added here, and after this second h2 demo text will get added here because we have set the p tag. So in this way we can use the after method to add the content after the selected element. Let us see the next example. Now we will see the prepend method. As the name suggests, it will add the content at the start of the selected element. In append we added at the end. Therefore for prepend the content will get added in the beginning. So we will see an example and prepend the text to the h1 element. So let us see the example. Here on VS Code, let us add a new file. Right click here on the Explorer, click new file, add the file name. Let's say I'll add index34.html. Okay, here it is. Click on here, I'll just copy this code, right click, copy, and right click, paste here. Okay, so now we are using the prepend method. Let us set the HTML code under body. Okay, let me remove all these. It's not required now. I'll add a p tag. We will prepend a word in the above heading. Okay. Click the below button to prepend. That's it. We have set it. Button we have here with the ID btn, and we have the button element. Just mention prepend here. So our button is ready. Now on the click of this button, we have used the click event for this. So after clicking this button, what will happen? We will prepend text to the h1 element. So we will add h1 and the prepend method will be used. Within this we can add any text. Let's say I'll set the same text. I'll just prepend and I'll mention an em tag, that is emphasis text, and our demo text will be visible before our h1 heading. Okay, so we will prepend a text under our h1 heading. Our h1 heading is Studiopedia right now. Okay, so let me append my website here. So after clicking the button, my website Studiopedia will be visible here, because we are prepending a text to our h1 heading. We are prepending a word. Let us run. File, save all, right click, open in default browser. We are prepending a word, so we are prepending a word under our h1 heading, which is already visible as Studiopedia. So a text my website will be prepended before Studiopedia here. When I'll click on this button, click on the button, you can see my website is visible here now, Studiopedia. It is in emphasis text because we have set the em element here. Okay, so we prepended this using the prepend method. Let us see the next example. In the next example, we will use the before method to add the content before the selected element. Okay, so we will see an example and add a content before the h2 element this time. So let us see the example. Now let us create a new file on our VS Code. Right click here, new file. I'll name it index31.html. Here it is. Okay, now let me take the code from here. I'll copy and paste it here. Now we have our code. First, let us set the body element so that we can add the content before the selected element. h1 I'll keep as it is. Let me add h2 heading. I'll mention demo heading 2 because it's level 2 heading. Let me add it again and again. I'll set h3 heading here. Okay, and for the text we will add the following. P tag only. Click the below button to add content before the h2 heading. Button, keep it as it is. We have created the button using the button element, and we have also set an ID using the ID attribute. The ID is btn. Let me change the content of the button. Add content before h2 element. Okay, now when we will click here, what will happen? Click event will be used and the button will get clicked. After clicking this button, this will occur. So I'll change it. We want to add the content before the h2 element. So at first I'll mention h2 dot before method to add the content before, and the following content we will add before the h2. element. So I'll mention P here. Let's say I'll select I'll set demo text. So this complete element will get added before the H2 headings. That means here and here, because before H2 is the following, after H1, and before H2 here is after this H2. Let us run it to understand. Go to File, Save All, right click, open in default browser. So now when I'll click on the following, add content before H2 element, a new text will get added. That means demo text before the demo2 heading. Click on it. You can see just above the demo heading we have added demo text, and here also demo text. Okay. So guys, we worked around the before method to add the content before the selected element. That means before the H2 element in this case. We saw how to add element to a web page. We worked on the following methods: append, after, prepend and before. And we also saw 4 live running examples. Thank you for watching the video.